Hello, this is Jalel. I just wanted to give a brief overview on the wands that I currently have in stock right now, and their prices and a little bit of a description on each one. Alright, the first one I have here is one of the earlier wands that I made. This one is salt cedar, and it has a copper wrapped all around the handle from one quartz to the other, and it has 2 Lemurians on it. This one, it's around a foot long, but this one is only $44. The next one is right here. This one is the Titan. This one is made out of spiral pine. You can see the twist on it. This one is spiral pine with black leather, hemp cord, copper wire. It has a white agate and one right here in the center. Then down here it has an amber, and this is a stone I tumbled myself. This is a rose quartz from the desert, and all this wood is from the southern desert of Arizona, and it was located on a vortex, so it naturally grew in a spiral form. It has copper all the way from one end to the other as a full conductor. I forgot to say the quartz at the tip is an Atlantean quartz that has been coated with colloidal silver. So it has a slightly darker hue to it than normal quartz. And it has little jade beads on there with quail feathers and copper for the rear. Okay, that one's the Titan. And oh, that one was 111. Just because it's a larger piece, it took a little bit more time to make. The next one, this one's the Sacred Sage. This one is made of hollowed mesquite. And this one was a really old piece of mesquite that had just been eaten out by termites. The entire inside was. So what I did is I filled it with local peridot stones. So they're all green, if you can see. And there's little openings on the edge where you can see where they've all been filled in. And it's been wrapped with copper wire. And on one tip it has a Lemurian. And on the other tip it also has, I believe it's it's another Lemurian. This one has 2 Lemurians on both tips, and it has hemp cord with a white agate and 2 dyed feathers on the rear. Yeah, and this one, the wood kind of naturally grabs onto the crystals, so this one's really, and it's real comfortable. It's only about this big. It's only a few inches, but it's a good size wand, and it has a lot of real high green energy just from the peridot running through it. And this one's 77. Okay, next is this one. I call it the Deep Purple. This was one of the earlier wands that I made. This one has a Lemurian at one tip and amethyst at the other tip. It's got copper wire wrapped around it, and it's got a lot of peridot. White heart quartz right down the middle, and cotton cord that wrapped around it. And this one's just made out of salt cedar. The wood's really not that special or unique, so this one's only $44. Okay, this one right here, this is the Apollo. This one is made out of lightning strike saguaro cactus, the oldest cactus, one of the oldest cactuses in the world, and it grows only here in the southern United States, the southwest United States, specifically in Arizona. And you can only get the wood if the saguaro has been already downed, and when they get knocked down, they usually get struck by lightning. So the wood is naturally infused with a high electricity and the lightning element. So on one tip it has a Lemurian quartz with a copper wrapped around it all the way down, with a peridot on each time the copper wraps around it. There's a peridot stone meeting it. It's got white leather with black hemp cord, and it has 2 sodalite beads in the feathers, and it has dyed feathers as well. And this is also a stone I tumbled myself. This one is chrysocolla, which is crystallized copper in quartz, and it has copper wrapped all the way around it as well. And this one is only about that big. It's a nice little handheld wand. Okay, the next one is I call this one the Hermes. This one has the tan leather and cotton cord, Has real nice thick Atlantean quartz on it. It's a real straight quartz. And it has on the rear, this one is the green adventuring. I had purchased this one before. This is a green adventuring that has been tumbled. And it has a multicolored agate right in the center. And for the stones, it has snowflake obsidian with, this one has blackbird feathers. So that's that one. And this one also is made out of saguaro lightning strike wood. So this is a really unique wood. And both of these are 77. Both of these ones. Okay, this is a little spiral wood one that I got. This one's from Sedona, the wood. It's cedar, and it's spiral cedar from one of the vortexes in Sedona, Arizona. This one has aquamarine right as your main thumb stone. And it's got a little lemurian on the tip. So it's a good energy director. It's got leather wrapped around it with a copper wire going all the way through it. On the crack that it naturally had in the wood, I filled it with peridot stones, and it's wrapped with the copper so it gets all the energy. And on this side, if you can see it, this is a little tiny Atlantean quartz on one end. So, and this is a hemp cord wrapped all around this one right here. So this is a nice little compact one. This is even smaller. It's a thicker one, but it's a smaller one. And this one's called the Blue Light. And it's a 66. Just because the wood was so hard to get, all the wood from Sedona is kind of unique and hard to find, so that one's 66. Okay, the next one, this one's called Heaven's Edge. This little guy is also Sedona wood. It's a cedar, I believe, from Sedona. Or actually, you know what? This one might be pine. I'm sorry, I think this one's pine. And this one has a lemurian at one tip. And it has the edges you can see on the lemurian on there. And it has copper wrapped around the entire quartz right there, so it gives a lot of energy conductivity. It wraps all the way down the body, and it has some burns that I put in there to give it a fire element. It's got a moss agate right here in the center, and with copper wrapped around it. And then it has all this little peridot stones wrapped around the middle. It's got white leather, cotton cord, and more copper wrapping. And at the end, it has this very, very, very sharp surgical little tiny Atlantean quartz. So this one's really unique because it has this really sharp edge to it. So this is more for fine, very fine energy work, a little more for broad energy work. And you get a really good point with both of them. So this one's Heaven's Edge, and this one's 77. Just because the uniqueness of this one and the quartz, the crystals that I used for it were a little more rare. And same thing with the wood. Okay, the last one that I want to show is it's this big guy right here. This is the longest one that I've made. This one's called the Spear of the Wind, and it has black leather at the tip and a big lemurian, really large lemurian at one tip. And it has copper wrapped all around it. And it's saguaro wood as well. Has a cotton cord on the grip and a hematite at the other end. And it has green agate with dyed feathers at the other end. And it has right here a rose quartz in the middle of that section. And on this one it has a multicolored agate. So this is that one, the Spear of the Wind. This is like a long, this is real heavy energy working one. It's got the hematite, the magnetic hematite, so it's very powerful. Alright, that's all I have. Oh, and I'm sorry, that one was 144, the longest one. So, alright, that's just a brief description of the wands. I'll see you next time.